Hello everyone, Andrew here, and welcome to the finale of Donkey Kong Country! Last time we took on the first 3 levels of World 6, and this time we're going to be finishing it all! 94% in about 2.5 hours. It is time to take on the final 2 levels of the last world, and then some bosses, and then the credits, and then, yeah, there's unfortunately not too much else to the game after that. There'll be a couple of bonus videos, but the main stuff will be over. As a kid, I mean, finding Funky's flights was always just as good as getting the Candy Kong. And you can always kind of look at the map and tell when you might get to those places. Like, you can see Candy Kong is probably coming up after this level. But I mean, once you unlocked Funky's flights, you could go to any world and save, and it was super simple. Of course, Donkey Kong Country 3, you could just roam anywhere you wanted, anytime you wanted. So you could pretty much save after every level if you felt like trekking all the way to another save point. But Donkey Kong Country 2 was actually rather tricky because you had to pay to save, and you had to pay for Funky. So if you weren't avidly looking for banana coins, you could kind of toast yourself. But anyway, in the last part I mentioned that in the Game Boy Color version there was an additional level in this world called Necky Nightmare, and that would be taking place right now. So in between Misty Mine and Loopy Lights. But unfortunately, I mean, not necessarily unfortunately, but we're playing the Super Nintendo version. I could have played the Game Boy Color version, and we could have played that extra level, but the graphical quality would have suffered immensely. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the original Super Nintendo version. I don't think that level was added into the GBA remake, strangely. Which is kind of weird. You figure they would have done that. Maybe. I don't believe so, though. But without further ado, let's get this part started with Loopy Lights, which is actually another cave level. And no, once again, going to the left will not do us anything. So it's kind of reminiscent of Stop and Go Station, where instead of now hitting, stop and go barrels, we're just hitting lights on and lights off barrels. It sounds like a Karate Kid kind of thing. Lights on and lights off. If you could, learn karate by doing that, I would be flipping those light switches all day long. But yeah, it's basically the trick of this level is, oh no, the lights might go out. And then you can still kind of see. This is one of those things like as a kid where you would turn the TV brightness way up, because even though it was supposed to look dark, if you did that, you could still pretty much see the outline of where the floor was. But anyway, we've already found one bonus game. So I would assume there's probably at least one more. Again, not entirely sure where the bonus games are located, but I don't think we'll have too much trouble locating them, hopefully. Do these platforms, like, even fall? No, they looked like they might have been, like, falling platforms, but they weren't. Also, this wall looks totally suspicious, but I don't have a barrel to throw at it. You can, after playing through the whole game, you can kind of just start to tell, like, which walls look like they're probably breakable, even though there's not actually usually any, anyway, any clue as to which ones are and which ones aren't. Looking at the computer screen, I don't think, man, I'm just going to run to the right a little bit and then jump and pray that maybe there's some floor. Okay, there was. Yeah, that was kind of an interesting situation there. Anyway, it looks like one of these walls right here probably could be broken. Can we please switch to Diddy? Thank you. Is this a breakable wall? No, it's not. Can I get back up there and hit the light? Okay, there we go. Yeah, nothing in that one. Although I'm going to hang on to this because you never know. We have a tire. This might be required for secret. Actually, was there a secret up there? Darn it. That might have been a barrel. Up to the right, or is that just part of the background? I actually can't tell. Maybe this is just for hitting this. Also, I should probably be careful. Do this. Although maybe I'll hang on to the tire if it doesn't go too far off screen. And it went too far off screen. This would not be the finale if we weren't reminded of a few of the little nuances that, unfortunately, the original Donkey Kong Country carries with it, but still a fantastic game. And darn it, I was just hanging onto the barrel. I didn't even realize that there was a guy sitting on top of it. We probably needed that. Yeah, one of these walls right here probably has a bonus game hidden in it, so we're probably going to have to replay the level down and get that barrel. I had no idea that there was a Necky sitting on top of that barrel. I was just, jumping while holding it, not intending to harm anybody, but, sometimes sacrifices must be made in the name of finding bonus games. Heck, in Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3, there's actually bonus games where the purpose is to destroy everything, so, yeah, violence is not a thing. Also, I like how it's lagging. I guess this is like the most zingers they have ever placed in one area. And, they figured it's the end of the game. Whoever is testing this for release on Donkey Kong Country Central is probably not going to play right to the end, so even if there's a little bit of slowdown, it hopefully, you know, won't result in their Donkey Kong Country ROM hack being removed or some shenanigans like that. People probably have no idea what I'm talking about when I go on about Donkey Kong Country Central. A, because it's not a place that actually exists, and B, because they did not go to Super Mario World Central during, like, the 2009-ish era, where it seemed like, you know, if there was like a single typo, your hack was removed. But anyway, we're not going to go on about that all day. We have a bonus game to find, and I have a pretty good hunch where it is. Usually this game doesn't give you barrels unless there's actually like a purpose to them. And there was that one barrel that I accidentally destroyed, which probably should have been used for something. So we're going to get back to there. Again, I think I mentioned in the last part, World 6, it's not that tricky. I mean, maybe there's something tricky about this, like a little bit. Like, if the lights go out, I mean, I guess there's a sense of, like, helplessness where you kind of feel like you're toast and you just got to keep moving. You know, once again, you got to go fast. Sonic the Hedgehog, like, Part 7. But overall, it's not too difficult of a level. I don't think, anyway. The next level might be a little bit strange. We'll see about that. I think it has a couple of bonus games which are a little bit tricky, actually. We'll see if we can deal with that. But I think we're just about back now to where we're supposed to be going. I can just barely see the outline of that tire. That totally saved me. But that's what I mean. Like, if I turn the screen brightness way up. Okay. So, see, this is where there's that Necky guy up there. We gotta be very careful. And see, I don't even know. See, that's not fair. That's totally not fair that he just, like, destroys your barrel like that. Thankfully, if you start select, it still takes you back to the checkpoint and not the very beginning. How does that work in Mario World? It might be the same. Kind of strange, but thank goodness that start select is a thing. You know, anyway, but let's see. If you don't need those bananas, you don't need that. I think I'm going to sacrifice DK so that I can get on top of this guy and destroy him, and then I can grab this. And let's see, is there just the wall? There we go. Okay, so I was correct. Hopefully, this is the last bonus game that needs to be found in this level, and seems like we just got a thing going on here. And I think I'm on a tire suddenly. That's kind of bizarre. I guess it was just kind of a, hey, you know, run forward without any kind of light and see how well you can do. Interesting concept for a bonus room. I think that we actually took care of it rather well. But anyway, I believe that should be it. Unless maybe there's like another hole or something somewhere. And we have to fall down. We had 94%. I actually haven't been keeping track. Nor have I ever really kept track. If one bonus game equals 1%? Anyway, that seems to be it, so I'm not going to save. Platform Perils is the final level of the game, and as it implies by the name, we have to play the Platform Peril minigame from Mario Party 1 and 2. No, it is basically, you have to ride a lot of these aero platforms, but I remember as a kid, I was always really confused about that bonus game, but what you actually have to do is jump on this, and then immediately jump, and then there's another platform off-screen that you can stand on, which takes you into this, which is totally, again, not fair, considering there's no indication that that is what you're supposed to do. I tried for, I don't know how long, to do, like, a cartwheel underneath the platform plus a double jump. I don't know if you can make it to it like that. Also, darn, I can't even go back and try, because it took us ahead in the level. How dare it! But anyway, that is how you get that bonus game. Again, another kind of cryptic one, which I don't necessarily agree with how cryptic it is. I feel like, you know, there should be, if you're going to do something like that, there should be a little bit more of an indication. I'm guessing that if you talk to Cranky enough, he probably eventually gives you hints to some of the more cryptic bonus games, but I mean, you shouldn't have to do that all day. I don't know. But anyway, you know, we're not going to argue about that 5 ever, because we have platforms going on here, and again, so far so good. It's probably smart to have DK in front, because he can destroy these guys very easily. Also, that barrel, wasn't afraid to get rid of that, because I don't think that these boardwalk kind of levels ever have secrets that require you to break open with barrels. I think the whole purpose of these barrels is just for us to smash enemies in the face with. It's, you know, why not? Can't complain too much about free reasons to destroy enemies in the face. Just like that one. But anyway, we got this guy here, and we got this here, and we got this here. But a very interesting final level is it's like, it's not even like, you know, it's just platforms placed in the air all over the place. And you stand on them, and then you jump to another platform, and then stand on that one. It's basically like a rail level, but without the rails. So, kind of weird. Also, interesting. That was bizarre. But anyway, let's make sure we're not missing any secrets. I can't imagine this level only has one bonus game. There's no way. There's no way. Let's stand on this for a second. Maybe? Nope, 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 nope. Nope. I know that, I think it was in, what was it called? Lights Out Panic? No. Blackout Basement, that's what it was called. You had to stand on one of those platforms until it went down far enough, and then there was a bonus game down there. So for some reason, I accidentally thought that it was the same idea. No exclamation mark at the end of this level, though. So we are actually still missing at least one bonus game. So we will see about that. I'm not entirely sure where that is. Let's hope that it's not too well hidden. Let's have a somewhat seamless final part. I'm kind of a little bit worried about the final boss, but we'll see about that. Can I ride this down anywhere? I'm always worried that, you know, maybe the screen will scroll down a little bit if you stand on one for a little bit longer. I'm not entirely sure. You tricked me last time. Can I get these without even using the platform? Who needs that? I don't need your stinking platform. Thank goodness that almost missed, but it didn't. We have these arrows here. Always kind of like, hey, the end is coming up. Do not lose hope. Which we have not lost hope this entire Let's Play. I can't really say there was ever a part where I felt like, you know, it's the end of the world. And also, I felt like that should have destroyed that guy. Like, it killed him, but it also did the bounce back. And it's also kind of funny that when you break out of the checkpoint barrel, it kills that zinger. It's kind of interesting. Anyway. Let's see here. Almost done. We've almost got it. It's the final stretch. We can do it. We can do it. Alright. I'm always afraid that, like, maybe there's something to the left or right that I'm not noticing. There might have been something back there. Actually, I guess we'll find out. Was there something to the left there? Yeah, let's keep an eye out for something like that. Camera, it's interesting. The camera in Donkey Kong Country, it's always a lot more, like, you can see more in front of you than you can to the left. It's not like Super Mario World, where the camera typically stays centered. So that can be really tricky sometimes for finding secrets. And they play that card a lot at the beginning of levels where, you know, they place, man, what's this? What's this? What is this? Was that anything? Is this for I don't know. Maybe that was just a thing. And how many times is that guy going to throw me off? You know, where they place things to the left of the entrance. They did that in this level once. They did that in one of the levels in the last world where you had to press left at the very beginning to find the DK coin. Anyway, let's destroy you. That goes down. Let's see here. Let's not mess up right at the end again. We got this thing. Destroy you. DK is definitely much better for throwing barrels. Like, you get much better range. But man, that time the barrel actually messed me up that time, because if I had jumped on him without holding the barrel, he totally would have been destroyed regardless. Anyway, let's see here. We got it this time. I still don't know where that final bonus game is though, and it's really bothering me. But it was interesting at this part though, when I looked to the left a bit. Okay, so yeah, that was just that same platform. So that's what I saw in the corner of the screen that one time. Can we jump to the right here and do anything? No, we cannot. I don't know why I'm getting all paranoid about this bonus game. For some reason, I feel like I'm missing it. Even though I don't think I actually am. It's probably just some really silly thing, like, you know, jump beneath the exit or something like that. We've seen bonus games like that before, so let's just, you know, keep our head together. Let's pound the ground a little bit. And hopefully we haven't missed it. So let's see here. Let's actually just take our time. So again, this level's not that difficult. It's pretty much just jumping on platforms. There we go, okay. Okay. A few last tires. Bounce, 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 bounce. Nothing else to bounce on. No one-ups that time. Okay, anyway, we don't even need barrels this time, because we can just totally jump on the guy. It's like that. Oh, no, that's right! The gray ones you can't jump on with DK. That's why you actually need the barrels. Darn it! I had totally forgotten about that. Yeah, there were two versions of that enemy. I don't think I ever actually addressed that because it was something I completely forgot about and just till like 2 seconds ago. The blue version of Prussia can be killed by being jumped on with DK. But I think the gray version you can only kill with barrels. That's so silly. And I had totally forgotten about that until I just did it. You know, someone could have reminded me in the comments. I'm just kidding, obviously. I cannot read those until after the video is uploaded. That would be shenanigans. Unless I am somehow recording this in the future and then going back to the past to upload it. But that's a conspiracy for another day. Let's see here. Let's not mess up. When it comes to throwing at these guys, maybe Diddy is the better option, although I can't exactly change dudes now because, you know, we're not standing on solid ground. Let's somehow do that. Let's throw that at you. Let's do that. Let's grab that. Let's do that. Step on that. Bounce on that. Go to the left on that. Jump up on that. Get that. Throw that. Go down on that. Anything under here? Yes! Yes! Okay, okay, okay. That was, I actually had absolutely no idea that this was down here, so that was very lucky, to say the least. And we have an on-guard token, but we totally don't even actually want that. But yes, I knew it! I knew there was going to be something hidden at the very end. Alright, I guess we didn't miss it after all. Unless there is actually one more hidden somewhere. Which would totally not be good. 2 on-guard tokens, although I don't think we're going to have a chance to pick up any other tokens for the rest of the game, so unless there is actually another bonus game this level that I missed, I think that we are done. There we go! That is all of the bonus games, and with that we can go down to Nickys Revenge, again one of those rehash bosses I was talking about, but since we've done it in every single world, let's get some final advice from Cranky. At last, somebody to chat with, the very final Cranky's cabin. Leap of faith is all it takes to find Winky in Barrel Canyon. Thanks, we've heard that like a million times. That's so first world. I read it in the manual that you can jump farther if you hold down the run button. See you later, alligator. Totally useless. Although I guess we don't really need his help too much since we have found all of the bonus games. Because yeah, all that's left is 2 bosses. Starting with Nickys Revenge, which is exactly the same as the boss from World 2, except now it is purple. And it's a little bit more difficult. I think it like shoots more nuts at you, and it takes a few more hits, and nothing that creative, honestly. But yeah, let's see. You know, I say that, but hopefully we won't screw up. I think you need to wait for it to shoot 3 times before you can actually land a hit on it. But yeah, I think that's the first time we've ever actually died at a boss. Silly Andrew. Now is not the time to start messing up. What really matters, though, is the final boss. I don't want that to turn into, like, an all-day thing, where it's like 7,000 cuts later, we finally have the winning run. Although I don't think it's going to be too bad. I like the final boss in this game. It's actually really cool. But you should be seeing that any second now. So we got that. Almost there. One more. There we go. And boss number 6 is done. Necky Part 2. Not much different than Necky 1, but yeah, it was a boss. I've already gone on about the bosses in this game, but one boss that I cannot complain about is the final boss, which is really, 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 really cool. Gangplank Galleon is the final area of this game. I remember as a kid I thought that it was going to be like a world, although the second I press the B button, we are going to be thrown into the final boss battle. It's really cool because I believe that this boat then becomes the first world of game number 2, which is really, 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 really cool. I had that whole pirate theme going on. I'm not entirely sure why King K. Rool has a pirate ship in this game, considering that in the second game he becomes, Pirate K. Rool. And you know, the game has a whole pirate thing. I really like that going on. But anyway, without further ado, let us begin the final boss battle on the pirate ship. It's K. Rool. K. Rool was a really cool antagonist, and it always made me sad that he never came back in any of the Donkey Kong Country Returns games. Just because, I mean, K. Rool and the Kremlings were such a cool concept. I mean, I still love the Donkey Kong Country Returns games, and I'm so thankful that they exist. But to see K. Rool come back in one of them would be really neat. I remember, I always heard rumors that, like, K. Rool was owned by Rare or something like that. So that was why they weren't able to bring him back, since Rare had nothing to do with the Donkey Kong Country Returns games. I'm not actually sure about that. Anyway, let's see. We got a whole bunch of tricky attack going on here. We have that one where cannonballs come down, very similar to how the fire falls down in the final battle of Super Mario World. Anyway, I think they're coming from the right this time. Nothing too difficult to dodge, thankfully. Just gotta time it right. I am playing as Diddy, who is definitely, as I've mentioned multiple times, the easier guy to platform with. So I mean, but the problem is that if he gets hit, we're gonna be stuck with DK, and that is not super great. But anyway, let's see here. Doing some cannonball dodging. I remember people are always talking about K. Rool possibly being a character in Smash Brothers. That would be totally cool, although if that rare thing that I just talked about is actually a thing that exists, I mean, I guess that wouldn't actually be possible. And then we have the Boomerang Crown, and just like that, Donkey Kong Country is complete! Oh man, that was such an awesome Let's Play. Thank you so much for everybody who joined. Oh, the coding was done by Claptrap, the characters were done by Crusha, the coloring by Critter, the concept by Clump, and the commander is King K. Rool. The end. I mean, of course, there's going to be sequels. thus the reason for the question mark. There's totally nothing to see after the credits, except for the fact that the game is totally not over, and the final boss battle has only just begun. I always loved that as a kid. It's like, oh yeah, I totally beat the game, or not. Although I kind of forgot how that phase went, where you hit him, and then he does this kind of longer jump. It's actually been a very long time since I have fought this final boss, so we have a little bit of getting used to, I guess. The first few stages are very simple, and now that we have died, we go all of the way back to the beginning to fight these stages all over again. So let's see here. Nothing that wasn't extremely easy to dodge the first time. As far as final bosses go, Donkey Kong Country 3's final boss is probably my least favorite, with this one being my second favorite, and I absolutely love the final boss battle of Donkey Kong Country 2. It's just, I believe it takes 9 hits, and like all 9 of them are just awesome, as it gets gradually more difficult, and it takes place in K. Rool's flying airship. That's just really neat. I've always really loved that. Another thing I loved about K. Rool was how he could take on, like, you know, all these different characteristics. Like, he's a king in this game, and he's a pirate in the second game, and he's a mad scientist in the third game. I always really loved that. It's not just like, hey, it's Bowser doing the usual Bowser things every single time. You know, completely original guys. But, you know, K. Rool is a cool, very, very cool antagonist. And again, all the more reason why it would have been awesome to see him come back. I remember in Donkey Kong Country Returns, I always hoped that maybe at the end, it was actually him that was controlling all of the tikis, but that wasn't actually something that happened, which was a little bit disappointing. But again, as I mentioned, they're still both very fun games. At least he came back in Donkey Kong 64. Anyway, so the credits normally would have been there, but since we've already beaten it, or seen those fake credits, it doesn't show them to you again. Anyway, we got that. Okay, so we got that. So I believe he always does the longer jump, and then he does slightly smaller jumps, and I believe they start to get even smaller. Still not that difficult, though. After 3 times, is he going to do it a 4th time, or is that literally it? Wow, I thought the final boss was way harder than that. My memories of this final boss as a kid do not in any way line up with what we just did. Well done, Donkey, my boy! Who would have thought a young whippersnapper like you could have beaten that bunch of no-good Kremlings? You've made an old man very proud. Wow, that is a somewhat anticlimactic boss fight. Go and look in your hoard. I think you'll be in for a surprise. I remember the final boss of Donkey Kong Country 1 being way more difficult than that. You've beaten the Kremlings. Like, I remember the fake credits, and I thought there was a lot more after that. You've found absolutely everything. You're nearly as good as I used to be. There we go, everybody. We found every single bonus game. We got the bananas back. Yeah, we did it! And I hope that all of you had an awesome time watching it. And, in normal Donkey Kong Country fashion, it lists all of the enemies and characters, along to really awesome music, which I've always thought is really cool. But yeah, Donkey Kong Country 1, I did everything really backwards, as I mentioned in the first part, where I started with Donkey Kong Country 3, played number 2, and then played number 1. So I hope that all of you stuck around for that, as I've had so much fun playing all 3 of them. I know there was a little bit of a wait between Donkey Kong Country 2 and Donkey Kong Country 1. Although thanks everyone for waiting, and I hope that you enjoyed it. And now we got all of the official names of the enemies that I'm totally not going to remember. Chomps Jr. and Chomps. So yeah, here we have DK's house where we found the extra life in the very first part. And yeah, there we go, Squidge. So what comes after this? We have a couple of bonus videos to make, just like I did for Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3. There are warp barrels in this game that I'm looking forward to showing off in some bonus videos. And there's also a couple of cheat codes that you can do some neat things with that I will be making extra bonus videos about. After that, I already have an idea for my next Let's Play lined up. It is going to be on the original Game Boy, and it is a game that I think is really cool, that again I haven't played in quite a long time, and I believe deserves much more attention than it actually gets. I have given hints to what it is, and I have even actually told people in the comments and stuff what it is going to be, but I'm not going to leave everyone hanging too much longer. Or should I just tell everyone what it's going to be right now? I'll tell everyone what it's going to be right now. It's going to be Super Mario Land 2, which is a really cool game on the original Game Boy. It has a lot of really neat things about it that you don't typically see in Mario games, like the ability to play the worlds in any order that you want. I've always thought that was really neat. So I'm really looking forward to playing that, and I hope that all of you will look forward to seeing it. Then we got Squawks there, who totally was not as useful in this game as he was in other games. Is it my turn yet? Cranky's going to give us a whole bunch of taunts in the credits here. I don't know if he goes on about finding all the bonus games. I remember as a kid, he would always taunt you about, like, oh, you didn't even find all of them. But since we did, he can't exactly say that. There's Cranky Kong, there's Diddy Kong, and there's Donkey Kong, who you will never play as in a Super Nintendo Donkey Kong Country game again. And he is finally celebrating. It's finally Donkey Kong's turn to be happy. And we get that too. As if they're still playing that bonus game, but we never have to play a Donkey Kong Country 1 bonus game again. That's kind of a lie. But you'll see why in one of the bonus videos. Someday I would love to Let's Play Donkey Kong 64. The only thing I fear is that it is such a long game. And I don't even really know how I would tackle it. You did all this using only one life. So yeah, Cranky taunts you at the end here. And when he said that, it always made me want to try to play through the game in 1 hour with only 1 life. And I remember as a kid, I made it to World 6, like the beginning of World 6, without losing a life in 51 minutes. Although no matter what I did, I just couldn't beat the final world and the final boss in only 9 minutes. I don't know if he says anything different if you can beat the game in 1 life in under an hour. Obviously, I mean, I'm sure there's so many, you know, I know about the bonus barrels and stuff these days that I didn't know about back then. So by using those, I could probably easily do it these days. But I don't believe it actually gets you anything extra. As I was saying, though, about Donkey Kong 64, it would be so many parts. And it's just been so long since I've done a 100% Let's Play of it, that, unlike, you know, obviously it's a lot easier in a game like Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3, where you're kind of, you know, led through it in a linear fashion. There's a lot of backtracking and stuff in the Donkey Kong 64, and I'm not entirely sure how I would tackle it. I feel like the Let's Play would unfortunately be kind of a mess, but we'll see. Who knows what will come someday. But in the meantime, let's appreciate all these people who put, you know, their hard work to make what is definitely one of the best Super Nintendo games and what eventually became an absolutely awesome Super Nintendo trilogy, and it still goes on today. Hopefully we see some more Donkey Kong Country games in the future, because Tropical Freeze and even the original Returns were absolutely awesome games. And I believe that with that, it is taking us back to the title screen, where we are definitely going to go and appreciate our 101% before calling it a day. There you go, and we even get a star instead of a percentage symbol. So yeah, that is absolutely everything in Donkey Kong Country 1 in under 3 hours. And it takes us all the way back to the first level, where we can now enter Donkey Kong's banana horde, and just like we saw at the end there, it now has all of his bananas back. There we go. So with that said, I believe that is all there is to do in Donkey Kong Country 1, except for those few bonus things that I mentioned. So thanks for watching this. I absolutely hope that everyone had as much of a blast watching it as I have had playing it. I have now Let's Played the entire Donkey Kong Country trilogy on the Super Nintendo trilogy on my channel. So yeah, I hope that for everyone who's been around since the beginning of that you enjoyed. So yeah, I look forward to those bonus videos, and then Super Mario Land 2 coming up next. Not necessarily like immediately after, but not in the not too distant future, hopefully. So thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and hope to see you next time for more. So thanks, and see you later.